Hey there, everyone. Good morning. Happy September 9th. It's Monday, and I'm coming to you raw, ugly, and no makeup. This is how you're going to get me today. Because when you are called from God to do a thing, sometimes He's going to take you all the way down to the ground and bring you back up. And that has been my weekend. My weekend has been revisiting stuff from my past. I've been on this mission and all, but I've kind of been struggling with one, how to get myself where I need to be, how to do it, what I needed to do. So I hired a mentor, and folks, we all need to hire a coach. We all need to hire a mentor. We all need somebody who's going to help guide us through the process, who's already walked the walk. So I hired a mentor. She's fabulous. She's a psychologist, and she also is a lay minister. So she's working for God also, which is pretty amazing. And so I'm doing the work. And the work is that I had to revisit some stuff from, hang on a second, hold, please. I had to do some work here on me, like tons of worksheets, right? On me, and then also I needed to write these 2 important letters. And the 2 important letters were letters of apology to my children. And I put it off, and I put it off, and I knew I had to have it done by yesterday. And these are letters that you're going to hand them, you're going to give to them, you're going to have them read. It's not those letters that you're going to write to them and then burn them. I needed to do it. And I think this is a great thing for all of us to do. All of us parents, even if you have small children, admitting where you screwed up and apologizing, to adult children like I have, admitting where you screwed up. And it was really hard for me. Not hard for me to want to help heal my children, but it was the shame, the guilt, the embarrassment, the having to dig up all the stuff. It was me. It was more of my ego than it was for anything else, but I knew it had to be done. So I went to church yesterday, and I just prayed in church, asking God to give me the wisdom, to give me the courage, to give me the just to do it, just give me the push. I spoke to my pastor, and I'm like, oh, today is the day that I have to do this. And I totally get it, because when we're not healed, how can I reach out and help you heal? I mean, I typically do, and I have. And I do it on a regular basis, but when I can be 100% whole, I don't bring any of my stuff in the game. And typically I've learned not to, and how not to bring my stuff in, just to use my stuff as an example to show you that you can make it through. But I totally get why I need to do this. And it's sometimes like God will bring it from the pit to the palace. But my God, the pit is hell. It's hell. It is just hell, and I've had to do it. One of the things that I had to do is I had to take inventory on my thinking. What is in my thought? I had to describe situations that happened in my life, how I felt about it. What automatic thought about myself showed up? Did I feel like I was unlovable, that I was defective? Did I feel that I couldn't be trusted, or other people couldn't be trusted? How did I feel? And then what category did I pull it from? Did I feel defective to why they treated me that way, or my behavior? Did I feel unsafe? Bless you, Silas. That was my doggy sneezing. Or did I feel that I couldn't trust them, or couldn't trust myself? And then I had to find scripture that coincided with that. Yeah. And then I had to revisit how I felt. And it's amazing that once I read the scriptures, there's like always more than one scripture that can coincide with the way you're feeling at the moment in time. I did feel better. And it did make me less angry, less. And I thought I worked on these things, friends. You know, it's like, how much work can we have to do? We're going to do a lot of work. And it's constantly peeling back the layers of the onion. So I had to sit down and I had to do the task of writing these letters to my children. And friends, when my husband and I were going through a really rough patch in our marriage, my kids suffered from that. When my husband was not using medication and he wasn't in therapy, and when he was going through his depression and his breakdowns and all that we went through with that, and his own turmoil that he went through as a child, that he carried into the relationship as I carried in mine, and we all carry baggage, right? It's no perfect life out there. I allowed and him to speak and behave in ways that he probably shouldn't have. But that was fear based on my life, because my dad would behave and say things, and my mom allowed it. And I was always fearful. So is it an excuse? Yeah. Is it fair to my kids? Absolutely not. Did it break them? Probably, and I know it did. I had to revisit those places. I had to revisit those places and really apologize and say, guys, I screwed up. I'm sorry. One of my sons always felt like he was never heard. Was that true? Yeah. I don't know if you parents have that child that talks and 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 talks, and you're like, I can't hear another minute, and you cut them off, or your other child needs more of your attention for some reason, and they get the attention where the other one doesn't. Yeah. So I had to go there. Some things that broke spirits of words that were used. Had to go there. So yesterday was a day where I probably wanted to, and I really did want to just get into my bed, crawl up, pull my sheets over my head, and stay there and hope I never had to do this. But then as I was talking with God at church, He put it inside me and let me know that this wasn't just for me. This was my children to heal, to know that their mom is sorry. Now, my husband has to do his own bit. If he's going to write a letter, then he's going to write a letter. But I couldn't speak for him. I needed to just speak for me. And so I needed to do the letter. And I needed to do this not for me. I needed it to do for them. And do that for my grandchildren and my grandchildren after that, and the children in this generations, to break it now, to share that communication's important. How long did I go without communicating with my husband because we were in an ugly place? So it was easier for me to not communicate so we wouldn't have conflict. To not let my voice be heard because I'm going to be shut down, or it's not going to matter. So I did that to my own son. So the reason I'm doing this live is, one, because I'm like, there are so many of us out there who really need to do this. And even if your child's 5 and you're tired and you have an infant and you are lashing out at the older one because they're being noisy, or because they're doing this, or because they're doing that, you have to apologize. Because in the end, we're telling them that they aren't worth that time to be heard. We're telling them that they don't matter. We're telling them that they're defective in some shape, way, or form, right? We're telling them that they aren't able to be loved. So now when they go into relationships, friendships, serious relationships, get married, they're going to take, sorry for my fingernails, they're really bad. I have to get my nails done. Anyway, sorry, I digress because this is a hard topic. So we instilled those things that were in us where we feel broken. Now we've instilled them in our children. And if you want your child to have a healthy relationship, if you want your child to have a healthy marriage, if you want your child to be a better parent than you were, these are places where we need to fix. These are places where we need to apologize. This is where we need to clear the air. This is where we need to say, I screwed up and I'm sorry. This is the places that we need to do it. And I'm praying and I'm asking God for guidance that my kids are 25 and 26. And I'm not too late on it. Because that crossed my mind too. Like, I probably should have done this before. But what was my saying before? My saying before was, well, there's no rule book. It is what it is. I'm trying to do the best I can. Stuff happens. There was a period of time when I was first diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis and I was on a lot of meds. I was a beast. Steroids can make you turn into a monster. And I was a monster. And who was that to blame? The two that were with me all the time. My children. So, I had to do the writing. I did the writing. One hasn't opened it yet because I put it with his belongings that he left here. And he left the belongings and that with him. One did read it because it's not where I left it for him any longer. He hasn't spoken to me about it, but I will have a conversation with him regarding what I wrote, and then if he has anything to add to it. If he doesn't, that's okay. If he wants to talk more about it, that's awesome. I will discuss it with him. If he doesn't, I will tell you this though. Last night when I put the letters out, I was kind of like a chicken. I put one under my son's stuff that he drinks before he goes to the gym, and he always goes to the gym later in the evening. So I put it there. And I knew my other son was popping in on his way home to pick up some stuff that he left here before he went back to his place. So I stuck it in there. And I knew they were both in the kitchen, and I knew they were both here, and I was upstairs, and I'm going to my husband. Oh my gosh, I have the worst headache. Oh my gosh, I can't believe they're down there. Oh my gosh, what do you think they're saying? Oh my gosh, do you think they're talking about it amongst each other? What are they saying? And my husband's like, just go down there and talk to them about it. And I'm like, no, I can't. Let them just digest it. Who can understand that? I was like a freak. I felt like I was 5, you know what I mean? I was like a wreck. And I had a miserable headache. I didn't sleep well, hence, look at these eyes. Yeah. Because I had a headache. And I was stressed over it. And it was my guilt. It was my shame. It was all of that compiled into one that was making me feel that way. So this morning, my son woke up. My husband was getting ready for work. And I was making coffee and things. And he never... Excuse that phone call, that phone again. I was never, I didn't bring it up. I didn't want to. And I saw my other son still sitting with his stuff. So I was like, oh, his hasn't been opened. I didn't see the other one. And I was like, oh. And I just like, Ben, you know what? I did it. I shared where I screwed up. I shared that I'm sorry. I told them all the things that I wish for their life. I prophesied over them what I want for them, what I believe for them, what I want. Prayed for them. I did all the things. And I can't do anything else. Honestly, I can't. So they either accept my forgiveness and they understand and we continue to grow from here. Or they have to have their process like I needed my process with my parents. So, oddly enough, I'm at peace today. I still have a little nagging headache and I have my coffee here, but I really don't think it's what I need. I think what I need to do is maybe just to do some yoga or just to meditate and just be in peace. Though I feel calm, I feel peaceful. My headache is in my eyes, so it could be just that I'm tired because I didn't sleep well last night, or my sinuses, whatever. I'm not going to make excuses. I'm not going to try to figure it out, but it is what it is. So here's my coffee. I'm going to have a quick sip, so hold on, please. But as I was saying, I hired this mentor, and the mentor is keeping me on task to go where I need to go and do what I need to do and to follow my purpose, my calling, my next step. And in order for us to grow and to move to the next level, we have to do the hard stuff. So what is the hard stuff that you're putting off, that you just don't want to deal with, that you just don't want to? Is it the letter to your children? Is it the apology note to somebody else? Is it the forgiveness of your parents or your childhood? What is the thing that you're putting off that's holding you back from your next step, to your growth, to your the next level with God, doing your purpose, doing your work? What's holding you stuck? Are there things that you want to do and you're not moving? And what is it? And why is it? What is it that you have to do? So this is why I truly love having a mentor. Because not only am I getting my work done, I have that person to say, hey, how did you do? How did you make it through? And let me just share this with you. In between each letter, I literally needed to just have my husband hug me and hold me tight, because in those letters, it was really hard. I could have cried my eyes out. And this is another thing, friends, that I'm working on. Growing up, I was punished for crying. Some of you may be able to relate. I was punished for laughing. It's really hard for me to cry. I can feel it welling up inside, but I just cannot allow the tears to fall. And I'm learning that process. It's hard. Hard. I'm learning the process, but I could have just cried for hours and I could have just stopped in the middle of it. But no, I did the one letter and I put it in the envelope, and then I just went and sat with my husband and I just said, can you just hug me, please? And he did. He held me. And he honestly said, I'm glad it's you and not me. I said, well, it probably wouldn't hurt if you did it, but I can't force him to do that. He needs to want to do it in his own right time. And look where I am today at 49 years old. My children are 25 and 26. And I'm just doing it now. Yeah. So it's in your own right time. When you only feel like you have to do it now. And maybe I was pushed sooner because of the work that I'm called to do and what I'm working towards. And let me share something with you, friends. When I was saying at church yesterday to my pastor that I had to do this, my mother was standing beside me. And my mom said, well, I'm glad you're doing it, because if I had to do it, I'd be there forever. And I didn't hear from her for the rest of the day, because she knew that there's a boatload of stuff that she needs to apologize for, and she is just not ready. She may never be ready. She may never be sorry. She may never, she may be sorry in our inside, but never actually say the words. Like, I grew up in a household, we didn't hear I love you. It wasn't hugs all the time. There weren't hugs. And I vowed that would be different for my kids. I said I loved you all the time. I still, to this day, when I hang up with my kids or when they leave the house, I always say I love you. Before I go to bed, I always say I love you. I hug them. My one son isn't really a hugger. He's a leaner, so whatever works for him. But he knows. But does that always fill the gap for the other stuff? No. But not hearing those words makes you feel that you have to work harder for somebody to love you. Because You don't hear it. Do they love you? Are you loved? Are you able to be loved? How many of you have struggled with that, right? How many of you have struggled with not hearing the words I love you, and then when you fall in love, or when you have a spouse, or when you have children, you try to do far and beyond more than what you could imagine to do because you want their love so bad. It's a struggle. My husband never heard the words I love you either from his family. So in our relationship, it was a growth process. We needed to learn to use those words more. We needed to learn to communicate better. We needed to learn to do things on a whole different level, things that we weren't used to seeing in our own childhood. And learning as I'm going through this, I'm seeing where I messed up, and I'm seeing my son and his relationship. And don't get me wrong, I love her to bits and pieces. But I see things that what he's put up with and what their relationship has put up with that's a lot similar to ours. Is it right? No. Can they get through it? Yeah. You got to have the fight to do it. But, it's all a pattern. So, this weekend, I took the step to break the pattern. I took the step to say I'm sorry for where I messed up, things that I allowed to happen, things that I said, things that I've done, ways that I've behaved. And I took responsibility and ownership of them all. I didn't blame it on my illness. I didn't blame it on my struggle in my marriage. I didn't blame it. I did share that, those times were rough and it was not fair to me to behave the way I did to them. It wasn't their fault. So they shouldn't have been punished. They shouldn't have had to go through that. They shouldn't have. So, my friends, if you want freedom from guilt, shame, sadness, on situations with your children, make them whole again, heal them before it's too late, let them know that they're worth all the love in the world, that they can do all the things that they put their minds to, how proud you are of them. Build up their character that you tore down. I'm suggesting to do it. It's tough. It's hard. But what's worse? Watching your child struggle with those feelings and just saying, I did my best. There was no rule books. This is how I was raised. It's all BS. I'm calling BS on it because we can change it. We can change it right now. You can have the conversation. You can write the letter. You can do both. Break the pattern. Don't break their spirit anymore. Let them know that you're sorry. Let them know that you screwed up. Let them know that you don't feel good about it. Fix it. So when they go into their new relationships, when they go into marriage, when they become parents, they remember that you screwed up, but they also remember that you apologized and you changed and you fixed yourself, and it is what it is, but it's not what it's supposed to be. So don't put you first, put them first. Heal you, yes. But I'm not going into this assignment as me saying I'm doing this for me, because I wasn't. I was doing it for my children. I was doing it for my children to have them find who they are again, to know that they're worthy of everything, to know that I love them. I love them beyond measure, but God loves them even more than me. That they can find peace in what I said and truth in what I said, and that can help them heal. That can build their character up. I have two really fantastic boys, artists in their own rights. My one son is a musician. My other son is a photographer and videographer. They do have day jobs, but those are their dream jobs. And I see how that holds them back because their confidence isn't there, or they get so close and they don't think they're good enough for the release of what they've done, of their work. And friends, I have to take responsibility for that, because that is some of the stuff that happened in my life, that I did the same thing because they saw me at the break of just cutting it and making it big and becoming a top chef on a TV show. I could have, but I held myself back. I fought it, right? I was shipping gluten-free products around the country before gluten-free was there, like French baguettes, all the things. And I was this close and I stopped. I always got this close and I stopped. I'm not that girl anymore. I'm not doing it. The healing has begun and I'm not doing it. And I don't want that for them. They're 25 and 26. My God, they have so much time. So much time to move forward in their life. So, that being said, whatever it is that you know that you need to do to help heal your children, to help heal your family, to help heal your children's children and their children, and so on and so on. Write the letter, have the conversation. God's only going to bring you up from the bottom. Because I'm going to tell you something. I thought I was in the bottom. I couldn't go any further bottom than I was. And he brought me out. He brought me out. He brought me right to where I needed to be. In peace. And I know there's a shift happening. And I know he's healing my family. And you don't have to make your husband do it, or you don't have to make your wife do it. You do it. You do it. Swallow your pride, put ego aside, and heal your family. Break the pattern. It's so important. I'm praying for you all. I'm praying that you all do it in your time. But don't forget to do it for them. Okay? I love you all. Thanks for spending time with me. And as I continue to go on my journey here, I'm going to be messaging on here and sharing with it things that are really important that we need to do to grow. And if we're going to do our calling and walk in God and do what he's asking us to do, we have to just suck it up, pull our big girl panties or big boy panties on, and just do the work. Swallow your pride. It's for your kids. We'll do anything for our kids, right? We'll buy them anything they want. We'll let them get whatever they want. We'll take them wherever they want. But this is more important. This is better than anything you can buy them. Heal their hearts. Give them the freedom to love and live the way they were supposed to be, without any thinking that they're not worth it, or they're not able to be loved, or they're defective, or they are not in a safe place. Give them that. That's more important than anything else in the world. Love them back to life as you're loved back to life, okay? Until that, I'll see you again. And have a blessed week, a blessed day. And if you guys need prayer, just let me know. Reach out. Go to my website, marinacrispyhnp.com, and message me. I love to hear from you. Follow me on Instagram, Marina Crispy. I love you all. Take care. Bye.